All right, welcome everyone to the next Spectrum event. We have Cam Witzer who's going to talk to us about how to get a job in government job and deal with USA job in general, deal with USA jobs, deal with all that application security clearance, and just how to manage that whole tricky system. So, go ahead, Cam.
All right, can you guys see me? Am I like, is that how it works? It just switches over and I start like, my face is like in your
Yeah.
screen and you guys are like, oh my God, it's so nasty. Anyways, I'm Cameron. I was part of George Mason, the program where you guys were at about 4 years ago. So I started in 2011 or 12. And beforehand, I was contracting. Came back and started a little late in the program. I came in the program around 31 years old. So I had 2 kids and actually started undergraduate taking care of a baby while I was doing it. And long story short, um, uh, I knew I kind of wanted to go in the government, and that's what I was going to do. I just didn't know how to get there, so I'm kind of in your guys' shoes right now. And funny story, little funny off tangent story. My my advisor was Phil Rubin. It's Phil Rubin, right? Is that who is he still there? Or am I thinking of another spot?
He's
Anyways,
still there, yeah.
yeah. Okay, no. Our first council together, he was like, okay, Cameron, what do you want to do? Like, I want to work in the government. He was like, well, you really don't need to get a degree. I was like, what? Anyways, yeah, it was a little bit off tangent. That's actually not true. You do got to have a degree, but yeah, I've actually started applying during my undergraduate. I was doing the undergraduate program. Started off USAJobs. That is, you guys haven't heard the platform that most government personnel or agencies use. I'd say about 90% of us use that way to get in, which is an unfortunate thing because it is a difficult monster to get past. And I think I'm going to try, if you guys are okay with it. I don't know if anybody's played around with it. I think I'm going to try to give you guys a quick tutorial towards the end on what to do and what not to do. Particularly, I've done everything you can possibly think of getting rejected, and it's not from the actual agencies or the personnel on their side. It's actually from the platform itself, which is kind of unfair. So yeah, right now didn't even tell you guys what I work for. I work for DIA. That's the Defense Intelligence Agency. It is part of the IC, and I'm in the S&T directorate. That's the Science and Technology Directorate. I work R&D. So it's a lot of program management, a lot of looking into futuristic capabilities. It's more like the capabilities of today. Like, we're interested in stuff like, say, machine learning. We're diving into quantum as well. So I mean, it's not like we're too far behind, but we like to keep up with things as well. So with that, I actually want to do a impromptu, like kind of short presentation. You guys do those are really kind of ghetto, and I'm sorry, but it kind of gives me at least so yeah, this is obviously misleading. I think it's more, yeah, well, there you go. It's a personal experience, obviously. So I was kind of in your guys' shoes. I guess we got a couple undergraduates in here. One of you guys, I assume, is going to graduate this May. So I'm going to talk to you. Or well, if you have questions, we'll talk a little bit more. Anyways, yeah. So I think I got the whole path how I got here. Right now, I've been in the government for about a year and a half. No, a little bit over a year and a half if you count in COVID. So after 2 years, you become like, well, at least in my agency, you become tenured. Like what that does. Beforehand, I was actually contracting. So after I graduated from Mason, I went straight into working contracting. Obviously, I took a job that wasn't exactly physics, but I figured because I'm sorry for the buzzing, guys. That's my computer. It's like really like annoying. But, I actually worked at DARPA doing finance. So why I took that job is one, because I had bills to pay. Obviously, the student loans was coming up, and two, it's because they offered me a clearance, or they offered to pay for my clearance. So that's one thing that's we're going to talk about. That's really big, and I'm sure everybody here understands that. sometimes, unfortunately, when you're in this area, a clearance almost weighs more than a degree. I don't go by that, but for some odd reason, that holds as much weight around here. I'm not happy about that. But anyways, I took that job hoping that I'd be able to kind of finagle my way around it and quite possibly move around DARPA and then eventually land a more of a physics job. But yeah, here's kind of the topics. Feel free to like cut in and ask questions, by the way, because my voice annoys me. So okay, so there's obviously I like to think of it as two entities that the government that will kind of like the government kind of we work together. It is the private sector, also known as the everybody outside of the government. You have a lot of these contractors around here. In fact, a lot of the stuff that we do at these agencies are done through contracts. Surprisingly enough, that surprised me. A lot of the projects that we have are actually conducted, well, after these guys win their contracts or by these guys. So a lot of the science, a lot of stuff that you guys like to do, I assume, a lot of playing around with comes from these guys. And that was actually truthful at DARPA as well. DARPA is more of a program management type agency. So a lot of scientists over there, creating projects, creating ideas to solicit out to these guys out here, these contractors, and they bid for it. And when they do, they win it, and lo and behold, we're putting stuff together, for on your behalf. And there's also there's a time period for them to do that, but things they get done, and they get done in a pretty quick fashion. There's absolutely no way that any agency could not function without contractors, which is interesting. Anyways, I highlighted here that the best way to I guess get a job with these guys is via clearance. But I mean, to me that's more of a chicken and egg thing, right? I mean, a lot of these companies, unfortunately, they won't sponsor clearance, and I don't know why that is. Some do and some don't. I mean, I'm not trying to deter you guys from that. I mean, you should definitely always apply. But I think it's because a lot of people get their clearance and they get up and they jump ship and they go somewhere else. There's a lot of that happens amongst these contracts. But yes, a clearance is super big. I will probably continue to dig into a lot of our contractors and ask them, how in the world can we get around that? But anyways, we're not here for that. I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. There you go. Government agencies, we're all over the place. NASA, congratulations on getting there. It's I don't know how many times I applied to there and gotten rejected. NIST, it's a cool one. It's also the USNO. That's right up the street. I actually have a contact there that is actually interested in talking with you guys as well. If anybody's interested in that, so it's a straight. I want to say it's the country's oldest astronomy observatory. I could be wrong. I've went there. I've gotten interviewed a couple of times through USAJobs. Believe it or not, it does happen. So, yeah, I posted these up here because I feel that when I was applying, these were the ones that I specifically went after because, I mean, obviously, as a physicist or with the background of physics or astronomy, you want to go for these guys. But I just want to let you know that there are other entities out there. They're all over the place. USAJobs. So this is a platform that I think I just mentioned that a lot of agencies use, and it's not. I don't think it's by choice for many of them because it's handled by a different agency that almost knows nothing about what specific agencies are looking for when they hire folks. So long story short, this is kind of an unfair thing. You'll find out. We'll go through it. I've fallen off. I mean, I've been super honest, and I've tried different routes to going through this since undergraduate, almost 7 or 8 years going through this, and almost every time I would get a rejection until I was given advice by others that were in of how to get around this. And surprisingly enough, using that advice, even though it seems a little unethical, will get you past the system. And from there, you actually get into a hiring manager's, I guess, pile of resumes, and from there, you'll be able to, you should be able to, if not get a call, you'll be in the list, and that's when you'll start polishing up your interview skills, and you'll kind of hone in on that specific job. But be prepared, like when you do USAJobs, you're going to be applying a lot. You won't even, and it won't be your fault that you get rejected, because I can honestly tell you, every one of you guys are super qualified for all these positions, right? It's just the way that this system is put up. It's almost an unfair advantage to you guys, and we're going to try to hone in on what kind of positions you guys are going to want to apply for, right? And then there's the career fairs and the hiring events. So I don't know how the career fairs are right now. I assume they're all like, virtual. So I don't know what kind of advantage that gives you. But when I was going to these things before COVID, I would actually seek out, government career fairs, and a lot of these career fairs, actually a lot of government agencies pop up to them. I remember going to one, NGA was there. Some of them will actually post that they have career fairs, and that's something that you need to look into as well. Like, you actually look up certain agencies and say, you know what, I'm going to see if they have like any type of career fairs or whatnot. But I would actively seek those things out and show up to those career fairs. And there would also, a lot of them would have, you'd have your contractors over there as well. And there'd be a few government personnel. Well, I would go straight to the government personnel and just give them my resume, right in their face. Because a lot of the ones a lot of the agents, or should I say the government personnel that do show up to those events, are actually, they actually have ties to, or if not, they're the hiring managers. So they know exactly what they want. So you just kind of talk to them, and more than likely, at least in my experience, I was actually able to get interviews that way. So, and I'll talk about the hiring event afterwards. The IC, the intelligent community, we actually don't use USAJobs, which is probably why I was successful to get through. But that doesn't mean we will not talk about USAJobs. So we'll do the hiring event afterwards, and then I will tell you guys a little bit more about DIA. All right. I think I mentioned this to Jen, but this is probably the best way to come over onto our side, and that's via contracting, because we know how the contractors work, because we work hand in hand in the same office. It's almost the same jobs as they do. So there's a lot of people that come over contracting and come straight to the government, and that is like, I swear to day, that's a 90% thing. Everyone I've ever talked to has came over that way. There are some that can get through the cracks. And then, all right, I want to know if there's any questions before we do this. I kind of don't want to sit here and continue to talk to myself.
So we've got a bunch that were submitted either before or just during that, basically. I'm going to try and find the ones that are not USAJobs related, because you might already hit those.
Okay. I'm sorry about my computer. It is so annoying.
Okay, so a couple of them. One would be, what government agencies are hiring outside of the DC area?
Ooh, outside the DC area. Top of my head, I would go with Air Force, Army, and Navy. Those three are continuously hiring folks, right? And another thing, like, we'll go over it in USAJobs anyways. We want to look for multiple vacancies, right? We never want to look for the onesies and twosies, because those are, unfortunately, those are usually somebody's waiting in the background to get that job. Contractors, right? So we want to stay away from those. But yes, those guys are always usually hiring, particularly physicists, or astronomers, should I say.
And then the rest, I think we're going to get to, because they're career fair related or USAJobs related. But can you speak a little bit to what kind of salary would someone fresh out of undergrad get in government, what GSs they should be applying to? That could be actually more USAJobs related.
Yeah, no, that actually is related to us as well. So you guys, I have to say grad, PhD, well, PhDs can go up to 12, 13. So for undergraduates, we're looking for 11s and belows, right? 11 to GS 7, 8 to 11, right? For you guys, being that you guys got the hard sciences in your background, we want to go for 8 or 9s, right? So that's in this area, so the pay scales, that's around 60 to 70 or 50, no, 50 to 60 or something like that, okay, starting off. But I mean, the potential for growth is so quick in the government. So that's not going to be, it's not like you're going to stick at that, at that salary range for a long time. So
Yeah, my brother-in-law is in the State Department. Don't you like get like regular raises and everything? You go up like semi scales or whatever.
yeah, they're called, so so what I just mentioned now, the GS 11, 12, 13, those are called, I guess those are scales. Yeah, the scales, but then each scale, I'm just gonna call them pay grades or whatever. There's actually steps in between, right? So there's 10 steps to get to the next, or you can still jump. But if you jump, and as you mentioned, say you're I guess, I don't know, me, I stay like a 9 or something, right? I am a step 5. I don't get the initial 9 pay. I'm getting whatever the step 5 is. So then the increments are there. You still get the increments of pay, and sometimes you're actually making more than the person above you, which is pretty strange. But yeah, no, you can actually stay at that position and then go all the way to like 1 to 10, without jumping up to the next pay grade, which is usually for juniors. You will jump up. So it's all the way up to maybe 12 or 13 when it becomes considered full performance. So from all the way to GS 12, you're considered like entry level. But if you ask me, like in the government, you can be doing 13 and 14 or even 15, well, not 15 work, but 13 and 14 work even at a junior level, which is good for you because that looks great on you and that means you advance quicker. And there's going to be people that'll always be watching you, and they'll be watching your improvements, and even though you may not hear about it, but I can guarantee it's one thing that they do in the government. So
So I think those are the two that kind of correspond with what we've talked about so far. And then next step, I'll put in the next two. So
yeah, so let's do USA Jobs, guys. Right? You guys are, if everybody's okay with that, I don't want to super bore everybody.
no, I'm sure it'll be helpful. It confuses me.
Okay. You guys see my screen? Am I on now? Or should I?
Yep.
Okay.
We
Okay.
see your PowerPoint. So
Ew. Ew. Let me try to get off the PowerPoint. And then, by the way, guys, if I kind of ramble, like just cut in and say, what are you talking about, right? Because I have a tendency to ramble. So if, just cut in and ask me a question, like that'll help me out a little bit, because otherwise I just feel like I'm talking to myself, which I do a lot anyways, but it's fine. Okay, here's the USA Jobs platform, right? It's been a while since I've applied, which is makes sense because I do have a job. So anyways, I am signing in. Does anybody here actually have a USA Jobs account? No? Can
I
you guys
don't.
hear
So
me?
I don't think so.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, oh my God, did I just get cut off? Okay, yeah,
No.
no. Okay, good. Yeah, I am so sorry for the buzzing. Anyways, you can see it's been a while since I applied. So let's go for stuff that you guys are interested in, right? Somebody give me like any, let's do physics first, right? All right, here we go. So are you guys following along, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you see right here, we have these ridiculous pay scales, right? GS 13. Here's a good one. Here we go. Actually, this is one of the ones I think I mentioned. They're not paying much here, but these guys are usually always recruiting. Let's see what they got going on here. 2 to 4. So you guys, I mean, if you look at this salary range, right, you're obviously not going to try to take the least. But here's the key, right? Many vacancies. So you see many vacancies and you're like, oh, okay, well, you know what? Those are the ones that we really want to look for. The big thing with USA Jobs is we want to tailor our resume to whatever these responsibilities are, or these responsibilities, or whatever the requirements are. Let's see what the requirements are here. These are pretty standard. Education. Here we go. See, physics or related degree. I love reading this because it makes no sense to me, right? You get a physics degree or at least 24 hours of physics. What the heck does that even mean? Anyways, but yeah, so you guys are obviously qualified for these positions. Particularly, is it who is it that's graduating right now?
That's me.
Okay, yeah, no, these are the type of positions that you need to be looking for because you're graduating. And a lot of this. So, anyways, long story short, I can apply for this now, but I'm not going to. What? Or should I? Should I apply for this? Who else is on here? I got to make sure none of my colleagues are on here. I'm kidding. Anyways, I'll try. Let's apply for this position real quick. Why not? Oh no! So we actually got to send this to their. We got to send a resume to these guys. Okay, so that's interesting. That's actually better. So if you can see, if you ever pop up on announcements that are like this is actually better. So you're actually sending your resume to these guys, which is better than dealing with USA Jobs. Okay. Let me let's do mixed, right? Because I got rejected by these guys at least 20 times over or 30 times over. It's a 14, 13 position, so like administrative specialist, we don't care about that kind of stuff. No. Let's go astronomy. I almost just want to go into like, give me 1 second. I don't see anything here then. Oh, well, here you go. Postdoctoral, yeah, see, this is Cambridge. I don't know anything about the IS pay grade. Oh, here we go. Space scientist. All right. This is USNO. I'm not qualified for this. It's a GS-14 position. Jen, you would probably be able to apply for a GS-12 or 13 with these guys, but they have nothing available. They're super small. I am going to apply this space scientist position. Why not? Right? Okay. Hopefully it hasn't changed since the last time oh, you see, this is a onesie. What I mean by onesie, we have one vacancy open. So these are really a poop shoot, should I say. Let's see how long it's open to. Yeah, see, we only got about 2 weeks, maybe, my position. So problem with these positions is there's a lot of people applying for them, and the other problem is more than likely there's somebody that's in the background waiting for the position. So resume, documents, personal resume. So we're gonna go, your resumes will be posted on here. You can have several resumes, obviously. You see, I have had several, I can't remember the last. Let's go with the new one. We will save and continue. I know it's seemed a little childish, guys. I just want to try to get us through where the questionnaire is, by the way. So yeah, anyways, you'll have the other documents in there, your transcript. If you did any prior military or whatnot, or if you did any volunteering or whatnot, it will be in there. View package, hopefully. Okay, so usually it ends up bringing you to the actual agency's website. It goes back. I don't care about this kind of stuff. I search some websites. I'm going too fast. I will slow down, guys. Just let me know. I've done this so many times. So here we go. I think we may be going, oh, continue the application with this agency. This is NOAA, by the way. It's another agency that I applied to countless amount of times. So for those that aren't graduating anytime soon, pathways is what we're gonna point you guys to. So that might be the best route for you guys to actually pass this monster. Okay, vacancy. So it's going to ask you all these ridiculous eligibility questions. Yeah, are you a current federal civilian employee? Yes, blah blah blah. So I think I failed to mention it's a point system. You know, me being probably a current civilian, I get points on top of those who aren't. Or if I was a vet and you're not a vet, I get points on top of you. If you are a PhD as opposed to a undergraduate, somebody will get more points on top of you. There's the way it grades you out is, it weeds you out. It's, we almost weed you out before you even make it to the actual questionnaire, which we'll go through right now. Let's see what this is. So it's asking me the same type of questions. Oh, wait, no, these are different questions. Okay, it's asking me other. As you can see, it has my information saved in there because I must have applied not too long ago. I can't remember. Yep. So here's your pay scales. It's asking you what your pay scale is if you're in the government or whatnot. It won't apply to you guys, but still, you can see where we're going with this. This. And then, of course, if your family member is, someone close to you is in the military and you're dependent or whatnot, then guess what? You get preference as well. So a lot of these government positions are tailored towards veterans, if you haven't heard. That doesn't mean that you are not qualified, by the way. Here we go, space.
And I did see there, just to point out, because I know people don't necessarily remember if they are like enrolled or that are not, is I think you have to be enrolled in selective service if that is relevant to you as enrolled at the draft. Is that the case? Because I thought about that question, and I know that Alex had to remember what he did back when he was 16 or 18 or whatever.
Yeah, once you're enrolled, you're enrolled. Sometimes it'll ask that. Sometimes it don't. But if you're not in the military, never was, obviously you have to be enrolled in that. Yeah, it's not. It probably won't affect him getting picked up. Yeah. So do I wish to be considered for a 13? I guess. And I'm going to say yes to 14. So if you don't have the criteria to get 14, then whatever. I guess you can quite possibly have the criteria to get 13. My recommendation is always go for the lower unless you're actually a 14 to begin with, because that'll certainly work against you. Here we go. Boulder, Colorado is where it's at. My guess is no. Okay, I wonder if they're actually working with the Space Force. That's another one that's hiring, by the way. I'm right here, Space Force. So keep that in mind, guys. Addition to occupation requirements, position, you have 1 year specialized experience equivalent to, okay, yeah, we'll just say I do. So here's where it gets tricky, guys, okay? So these vacancy questions, and I don't want, because I know everybody here, and I was the same way, everybody here wants to be ethical, and you're good folks, right? You want to be honest, and you want to be, you just want, you're an honest person, right? There's no like I'm gonna lie to try to get through. But unfortunately, with this system, you and everybody else that's going to apply on USAJobs has to be a expert in everything. All right, that sounds really bad, but trust me, you're not. You are not. you're not hurting, you're hurting yourself if you say, like in the middle, because as soon as you start, clicking on these in the middle, guess what? You have already been like put to the bottom list, or you've already been like, I'm going to say canceled, but you've already been like, rejected. I've learned that plenty of times over. My honesty just did not pay off coming through these questions. So yeah, I am an expert on this. Do I have performed this, or I have performed? Okay, so we're gonna say I did this. They're tricky with this one. Okay, usually they're all at the top. So like this system can actually almost, not almost instantaneously, but I mean it instantaneously like can almost reject you on its end, but you'll get you'll get the rejection notice via email like probably quicker than you would if you weren't like passed, if you weren't like passed on to the next stage, which is actually it gets handed off to the, I want to say you get the referral, and then after the referral goes to the hiring manager. So our goal is to actually get through the system. If we can get through the system, then you can get the referral. The referral then goes over to the hiring managers. And more than likely, the hiring manager will get your resume anyways. So, proficient, blah, blah, blah. Lisa, I'm considered highly proficient. Okay. No, I'm supervisor. I'm a supervisor now. Okay. Okay. Anyways. Can't believe I'm taking you guys through this. Here we go. Oh, so I don't know what these are. So there's obviously asking a little bit more questions than they usually do. Competitive, whatever. Have you ever had a permanent career appointment in the federal government? Full performance? Nope, not full performance yet. So full performance is, I think I mentioned to you guys, anything GS 12 and above or 13 above. That's what they mean by full performance here. So what I just applied to is a full performance job, which more than likely I will get rejected. I'm probably already rejected already. I've never done this. Oh, here we go. They're gonna start asking about degrees. Okay, so this is where you're you can clear your conscience a little bit. Combination experience, blah blah blah. So you guys have a degree. Oh, here we go again. Space weather. Guess what? I'm an expert in space weather as well. Okay. It was an error. What the hell did I do? Question 6. Oh, okay. Yes, I do. Oh my God, there's a lot of questions here, and I don't know what's going on. Anyways, you guys, oh wait, there's just only a little bit more. I have a sense of read. Okay, supervised. Documents, no documents. Okay, all of your documents from USAJobs have been they've been transferred over. So obviously, here's the documents over here that allegedly Noah will get, but I highly doubt they get it. And sweet, save and continue. I will submit my application. And then I assume they're going to direct me back to, I just click on return to USAJobs. Okay. That was probably, anyways, let's go to what I think you guys should be looking for the most part. Let's do pathways. By the way, I want to let everybody know that probably the toughest thing to do is get in the government. And once you get in, it's much easier to finagle your way and move your way around. So don't be stuck looking for specific agencies because you want to get in that agency. I'm not saying don't do it, apply as much as you possibly can, but I mean, also be open to other agencies as well. Because at the end of the day, you'd be a government employee, and it'd make it much easier for you to be able to move around and eventually get to where you want to get, right? So here you go. So this is, I've heard many people get through this way as well. So recent students and recent graduates, this is probably the way that those that have not or will not be graduating and those that are getting ready to graduate need to go, because these are GS positions that are like, some of them are, well, most of them are internships, but there's also lower level GS positions tailored straight to recent graduates, right? And by the way, a lot of the personnel that do come on board too are interns that make it over. But there's also, it doesn't mean that just because you did not intern that you should not be applying via this way. Let's see here, recent graduate jobs. So keep this in mind. I mean, the problem with this is, specific to what you guys want to do. I mean, you're hoping that a physical scientist or a physics position pops up. Well, here you go. See, physical scientist. This is right up your guys' alley. If you're getting ready to graduate, this is something you should certainly apply to. Three vacancies right here. That's a good sign. This is actually a good agency out here to work for. I think they are actually the Department of the Interior. There, yeah, okay. So this is actually a promotional to a GS11. It's great. So it's almost a promote in place position. So right here, usually like physics jobs or whatever are in these, we call these series. Like it's just these numbers that they put in front of the job description, by the way. So sure.
So we actually have a lot of USAJobs related questions that were submitted.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to just take them one by one.
Yeah, let's take them one by one. But I also want to let you guys know, like, if anybody wants to apply to these specific positions, so when you tailor your resume, right? Let's see here. What is this? It's asking. You must be a recent graduate. Okay. So this is actually pretty. 2 years of progressive power load, blah, blah, blah. So you want to tailor, depending on whether you guys want to be a GS9 or an 11, your resume should be tailored to this, right? You got to figure out a way to get your resume to speak to, these words to speak to your resume. So it's almost like you almost want to input some of these words into the story of your resume. Unfortunately, when it does make it past, if it does make it past USAJobs, the actual platform, and it gets to a hiring personnel or even an HR personnel, they will actually match your resume up to these requirements. So that's for every, this is going to sound tedious, that's almost for every position you guys want to apply for, right? You guys look for the requirements or the job description, and you tailor your resume to that. Almost, I'm not going to say verbatim, but close to it. Concentrate on your skills and try to implement your skills within the requirements that they're asking for, and you'd be surprised that that's how I made it through. That's usually the strategy when it comes to that. So it's not only being able to finagle your way past this system, it's also being able to tailor your resume almost verbatim to these qualifications that are here. Because that's what they're looking for, right? They're trying to distinguish you. It's hard to distinguish, particularly for recent graduates. Everybody's going to try to, apply for this position or whatever. They're just going to, what are they going to just submit their resume the way it is and not understand that, hey, me as a hiring person now wants to match your resume up to my requirements here. And if you're close to these requirements, then guess what? I'm going to take you out of the pile, and it makes it easier for me. because I mean the amount of resumes that come through is ridiculous, and I'm sure particularly for hard sciences it may not be as bad, but I mean for some of the other ones it's ridiculous. So, yeah, keep that in mind, and even after this this talk, I can always, you guys can always reach out to me. I will, I'm always on online and responsive, and then we could actually talk you guys through, and we can go back and forth, especially if there's a position that you're interested in. Well, let's just go back and forth and kind of look through your resume and see if we can't tailor it towards that. After a couple of times, I'm sure I'll get it. But anyways, okay, go ahead. You can go away. I just wanted to put that out there.
No, that was really useful. You actually like partially answered the first two questions already about like copying and pasting job descriptions and tailoring your resume. But I wanted to ask a little bit more. So for the copying and pasting question of the requirements that you highlighted, is it normal / acceptable to kind of have that pretty much verbatim in your actual resume, like even written in white font, so it's kind of like hidden, but it gets past the system?
Yes. So
Okay.
long story, yes. I don't want, guys, I know we're all totally ethical, right? But you guys also got to understand that the hiring manager on the other end, the actual person you'll be working for, usually doesn't screen. He's not the one doing the screening. It's some HR personnel. In this case, I think I want to see DLA, the logistics agency. They're the ones who actually control USAJobs. So they're the ones that are actually referring you towards the hiring managers or whatever not. So I mean, I think honestly, if a lot of the hiring managers or a lot of the people that are looking for certain folks are, that are putting this out would rather not deal with USAJobs and kind of deal with you directly via the agency. So yes, you will have to do just that. I mean,
Okay.
it doesn't have to be super verbatim, but yes, find a way to put your skills within that text, that context, and because those things stick out to them. Unfortunately, that's unfortunate, and that's the case with DIA as well. So we're going to actually go through that, how the IC does it, at least from the way I went, which is, to me, it was easier for me to get in. And the IC it's composed of obviously the FBI, the NSA, us, the CIA. So it's considered an IC community, NGA as well, hiring a lot of scientists as well. But I think that's to me, that's a preferable way for anybody who wants to get in the government, cold turkey, to come through the way that I kind of did it, because they've got these things called hiring events, and they actually hire you on the spot, which is ridiculous. They hire in the hordes. But there's also and we'll get to that. Anyways, continue with USAJobs, and I'll get over to that and close that out, because I think that's the best route that we need to go.
Definitely. So I know that you mentioned like making sure to have those keywords in your resume, but are there any red flags or things that you should make sure to avoid including in your resume?
No. Red flags, no. I say, as I just said, just write to whichever position you want and make sure it is almost, say verbatim, but it's almost similar to the requirements. Because once you get past that, then I want to say it doesn't matter. The hiring managers, they understand what you guys are going through, and it's frustrating on their end as well, because they've, particularly for the, okay, I'm gonna be straightforward with you guys. I've applied to USNO for, I've only applied for a few times, but I've actually made it through the cracks twice. For the 3 or 4 times I've actually applied for. Unfortunately, the first time I applied was a straight like software engineering position, / astronomer. I had to be like efficient in C++, which I really wasn't, right? But I was at the point where I was going through hundreds of applications or whatever, and I was just clicking away, whatever, expert in this, expert in that. I didn't think anything of it when I actually applied for that position. I actually got the phone call. And then before I know it, I'm scrambling all over the place. And I've only had a few days before the interview, and trying to learn freaking C++ in 3 days. Get the heck out of here with that, right? So yeah, when I went for the interview, it was a disaster. So, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, the hiring manager actually got, she was actually, for some reason, but she must have felt sorry for me because she keeps sending me stuff every so often to try to apply over there, because I think she felt bad about them rejecting me. But but uh but yes, I will mention Jennifer Bartlett with you offline, because she wants to do a talk with you guys. She is the head of, she's one of the astronomers over there at the USNO. She's really great person. But she has been putting out positions, and they've and a few of the others on their end, and they're not getting the applicants that they're hoping to get. So there's a lot of veterans that are kind of finagling their way through and have no background in what they want on their end as well. So it's frustrating for both sides, not just our side, it's their side as well. So yeah, you asked me, a lot of folks want to do away with the system. So right now, unfortunately, like, and I love the veterans, but they find a way to like land just about every job in here, and you're just like, how does that even happen? Because a lot of them don't have the back, even for the hard science positions. You're like, are you serious? But yeah, that's why we got to figure out a way to like kind of cheat the system as well, per se. Not to say you guys are cheaters, all right? But you guys want to get that interview. That's what we're hoping to get.
So is it true that there's some sort of a strict hierarchy or way that they have to review the applications once they're submitted? And is there a way to increase the chances of your application getting through a human and being seen?
Veterans. That's all I can say. Veterans are always at the top of the top of the list. In fact, when I was working at I don't think I mentioned this, but I worked as a contractor doing R&D at DHS as well for about a year. And our director was a physicist as well. He was a nuclear physicist, and he put out jobs out there as well. They had a mass hiring event at one point, and it was weird because the applications that, I don't know how they did it, but the applications they got were about in the hundreds, and upper management said, here, you're going to hire veterans. And essentially, like everybody else, like us, we're just bottom of the food chain. So yes, there is a hierarchy. We'd like to do away with that. So, but basically, don't go for the onesies and twosies, right? That's what I'm going to go with if you want to do USAJobs. But once again, I'm trying to steer us away from USAJobs as well. Not to say don't practice, though. It's good practice. But if you don't happen to get like the referral, don't like kick yourself, or don't get down on yourself, because I've gotten rejected so many times, and I can assure you it has nothing to do with anybody on the other end. It's this it's USAJobs itself, the platform.
Okay. So once you actually get past the process, your application is seen, do you have any interview advice for when you talk to the actual hiring managers? And then also, like, how long generally does that hiring process take for these government jobs?
Yeah, I'd say review whatever the I guess you're allowed to go back and check what positions you applied for, and then you could kind of look through the criteria of what it is and try to brush up on that or whatnot. Because more than likely, I think I mentioned this last time, be yourself and be confident, right? Be yourself, be confident in what you can do. And I think that's a big thing. Once again, I don't expect everybody here to like go and apply for a GS 14 or 15 position coming straight out of, undergraduate. I mean, if you were to get through the hiring process to get to the actual person, kudos to you. But if you do, I mean, good luck on that interview. I mean, they got to really, really love you for you to land that. But I think everybody here that's listening, and you guys in particular, can definitely get past the interview process from, all the way to 11 or 12. You have what it takes. I can guarantee you that. It's just, you got to be confident and just be yourself. Be yourself. I can't say any more than that. Don't be nervous. Practice a lot. Do a lot of practice. It's really weird talking about yourself. It really is. It's the weirdest thing for me. Because there's all these canned questions that they have to ask as well. But eventually they'll get to the sciencey questions, and for me, that's when I felt a little more comfortable. It's the canned stuff that's like, how do you prepare for those type of things? How do you see yourself amongst like a a couple of individuals that are like, like fighting amongst them. How do you break that up? Stuff like that. You don't even think about that kind of stuff, but they ask that stuff. And that's not because they want to. It's like that's scripted. So there's a lot of scripted stuff that comes out from the hiring managers that they probably would just rather ask you straight up, like your science background is it. They just want to know if you can do the job, but they have to get past that as well. I mean, unfortunately, that's just how it goes.
I think we have one last question on USAJobs. So when they give you a list of different documents that they ask for and USAJobs ask for more, does it help to put in more or do they just get ignored? I guess when you upload them.
I'm sorry, ask that again.
When you're given a list of different documentation that I guess you have to upload in your application, and then the question is a little unclear. So I guess if USAJobs makes a statement that you have to upload additional documentation, does that end up helping you at the end? Or do they just ignore like the supplemental documents? I guess the optional ones, if there are any.
No, it can give you points. You can get points for that. You can get points for, hey, I have the certificate, right? It does help out. How much it does, I can't tell you because I've never had them. So yeah.
And if that's it, I think we're good to go for the hiring events and all of the other
Yes.
stuff that you were talking about.
Yes, let's just go really quick into, should I share can you guys see my screen right now? Or wait, I got to hit the sharing screen thing again, don't I?
No, we have the Defense Intelligence Agency operating status, all of the articles now.
Okay, so you see it? All right. So how I got on, right?
Well, now we're on GitHub.
Are we on GitHub? I'm sorry, yeah. Because I think I opened up something here. Let's see. I had it opened earlier. Mechanics. What the heck? Okay, well, let's just go DIA hiring events, right? So I'm just going to talk this through, right? So DIA, we do what they call hiring events every so often. And what they do is they hire people by the hordes, which is ridiculous. It is the easiest way to actually get yourself an interview. And you're gonna almost do the same thing of what I told you when you write to these things, right? Because the people that you're actually dealing with HR here, right? So let's talk about. Can you guys see my screen?
It's on USAJobs right now.
Oh, is that on USAJobs? I'm sorry. Stop sharing. Why is it on USAJobs? I'm like super like. All right, let me just get you on this. We'll just go DIA. Oh, here we go. Can you guys see me now? DIA?
Yep, think so. Yeah, DIA.
Okay, so for you guys, we want to go through, and I'm meant to bring somebody on board that's actually our staffing person. She'll probably talk next time, but she was going to mention and put a couple plugs in that we are actually looking for interns right now. So that's within S&T. Hiring process is ridiculous, by the way. I'm not going to even go through that. So let's just go for the. So the work that we do is on the classified side. So the process will take about a year. I'm not going to lie to you, it's long. That's because they're trying to get you a clearance, which is higher than the clearances that you guys think. So this is it's called a top secret clearance. The information that you will be exposed to, obviously, does require those type of things. So of course, I can't talk about those, but I mean, you will be privy to those, and on top of that, I think I mentioned before this thought leaves my head. I mean, you will have a TS clearance when this is said and done. Even if you decide that you don't want to stay or stick around in DIA, that will definitely carry weight to where you want to go to next. Anyways, so right now, right, I'm going to go to Hawaii. I'm going to ask me why, because I'm confident that we have internships waiting. So first, I want to talk about these internships because I think that's the plug she wanted to put out there. open S&T has one. I think I opened up one here. Anyways. Okay, so I think I opened up one right here for you guys anyways. So this is an internship for next summer. So the idea is for us, or for whoever wants to apply for these internships, do it right now because it takes about a year to get your clearance all the way through. And you'll actually start up the following, say next, well, summer to 2022. So a lot of the younger officers that come aboard, they are actually straight from the internship. So more than likely, you get the internship, you do well, which is not hard to do. You will get a job, you will get a position offered to you afterwards. It's right in the range that I told you to, from 8 to like 11 or something, or 10 or 11 or something like that. So here for you guys, it's the same concept with us. The good thing is you get vetted through us. It's not you're getting vetted through USAJobs. You will, I think I highlighted right here, you're gonna tailor your resume towards that right there when you apply, right? Which is probably easier for you guys because it's all asking for research and stuff like that, or science, I guess science of science tool, trade craft, or whatever I want to call it. But it should be easy for you guys to tailor your resume to. I kind of did the same thing when I did the hiring process from after I graduated. It wasn't like I was coming through this route. We'll talk about that one right afterwards because I don't think there's a hiring process coming up anytime soon. But I will certainly, I think we do it like 2 or 3 times a year. I would certainly keep the department in check when we do come through. And then when that time does come, we'll talk about how you guys can sit and tailor your resume towards that if you're indeed interested in coming this route, by the way. So yeah, looks like down here you apply. I'm not going to try to apply, but probably pretty straightforward from what I remember. But your resume is probably a big thing here because your resume does get vetted by HR. So make sure your resume is tailored towards whatever wording is in there, and then more than likely you'll get an invite. Or I'm not sure how the internship things work, but when it comes to hiring events, we'll get to that. You'll tailor your resume towards whatever they're asking for, and then they have, then you get weeded out or whatnot. They'll put your resume in a certain accepted field, and they'll reach out to you guys, and then that's when you get invited to the hiring event. More than likely, if you get invited as a hiring event, it's almost a done deal, right? So it's so weird how it happened. I mean, you get interviewed. You go there, you sit down. There's like groups and groups of people. You're like, what the heck is going on here? And you actually, the interviews are like almost open in a bay. There's tables everywhere, and then you get put up in front of a. In our case, in your case, I'm sure you guys want to do S&T. If you guys decide to go that route, you'll get a S&T like almost like GS15 interviewing you, and it's pretty fast and straightforward. I mean, with me, I was super honest. I think she asked a question like, what makes you better than everybody else, and I just said I'm not better than everybody else. Straight up, I can't say anything else. I'm just willing to learn, and I just want to do something better for the country. And that's I was straightforward with it. And that's what sealed the deal. So just be yourself once you get to that point, because they know that you went through a lot of I guess BS to get there. So, but once you get there, once you get to that point, DIA wants you, right? So yeah, we'll talk about that when it gets to that, if there's any hiring events coming up. But right now, I'm hoping that we have some guys out, or some people out there that want to not interview, but put their resume in for this, because I think it closes out not August, but I'm talking about April 1st. And that's what my coworker was going to come on and tell you guys about, because she's a coworker. She's actually way above me, but she deals with the personnel for our part of the S&T. So yes.
Yeah, if you send us that link, or if that's the one that you sent me earlier, I don't remember. We can get that, or we can get that to the listservs and everything, and really pump it up for you.
Yeah, no, we'll pump it up for us, and we would like to see. For me, honestly, I want to see a lot more STEM folks where we're at, right? I mean, it's IC is a little different, but I mean, it's you're in the government, and we do see a lot of cool things. So it's not like not like you'll be completely bored, but I mean, you'll also be able to engage with a lot of the other agencies. You'll see that as well when you come on board, and if you were to come on board, there's a lot of interagency partnerships that are going on, so you can actually see what they're doing over there as well. Like a lot of the other ones, I'm sure a lot of people here want to work in labs. There's a lot of that stuff going on amongst other agencies as well, and you get to dive into those type of cool things. So yeah, it's interesting on this side, and I'm hoping like we can get a lot more George Mason people over. So, but I kind of understand where everybody's coming from. It's it's an interesting beast to try to get through the cracks, but there are ways to better yourself, to at least put yourself ahead of the game, and I'll be around. This is just not a one-time here I'm going to show up and just disappear, because there's a lot more. Obviously, I can go in depth, particularly with one or two people. If you want to reach out to me, I'm good with that as well. I'll probably give you my government email. But yeah. Anyways, if there's any more questions, I'm here. I know I kind of went over.
So we've got a bunch on security clearances and just the hiring fairs. I guess besides you sending them to us, is there a particular website they should always be checking, or some kind of list where they can join themselves?
I'm sorry. What was that? Can you ask that?
Just like basically how to submit your resume and all that information to the hiring fair, like you showed us. Mm-hmm. Like, is there a particular place that they can sign up for those when things open up? Yeah.
Not really. So it's weird how.
So it's going to be a lot of you. It's going to be a lot of you forwarding things to us then.
Which is fine. That's what I'm here for. I think I did the last one for you guys. You can also always look at the DIA's website, but that becomes it's easy. It's a click away, right? I know we do it like once or twice a year. One should be coming up pretty soon, if I remember correctly. Anyways, it's like once or twice a year. We actually, you should see how many people are coming in. It's crazy. I mean, we get interviewees, not interviewees. They made it past the whole interview process, and they're just trying to do the the polygraph test or whatever, because you got to do those as well. Those are good fun. So but that's happening on a daily basis, and they're all actually, a lot of them are straight undergrad graduates. It's not like they're graduates, or they've been in the government, or they've been working for years. These are people that are straight out of college. So we're hiring by the hordes, which is, I don't know how the other sister agencies are, but you can always, when you come on board, because the IC is so I'm sorry, I'm throwing acronyms at you. The intelligence community is so connected. You can always jump around. That's not a problem. So if you have interest in, say, NSA, because NSA's got these awesome labs or whatever, that can happen. You could do JDAs. They're called joint agency. Acronym, but it's you'd be a DIA employee, but you'd be kind of sent over there to work jobs with them for, say, 6 to 8 months or even a year. If they like you or whatnot, and it works out, then guess what? They'll hire you over there. It's not that hard. So the hardest part, guys, is getting in. Get in. That's it.
So you mentioned the top secret clearances and the polygraphs, and we have a lot of questions about those based on things they've heard from friends or whatever. So the first one is, I heard there are time limits on how long they care about drug use for security clearances, things like that. Is that true, and how strict are they, and how long do you have to typically wait to apply?
Just as long as you're not toking it up like yesterday, you're fine. So just be honest with that. Just be honest with those questions. Those questions do pop up, but I mean, when you're putting the application in, just don't do it. Don't be doing that when you're doing the application, right? Because I mean, these people will, if you're gonna try to go and try to get through there and lie, their jobs are to get that lie out of you, and they can detect it quick. So be honest with that. Just because you did some drugs or whatever it is you did, if you decided to smoke marijuana, that even if it was like a couple years ago, or maybe it was a year ago, that's fine. That doesn't make you less of a candidate. Now, if you're going to show up to the interview and just be wait, I mean, you might as well just like not show up at all. But yeah, no, that's a big thing. But if it's not as bad as people say, yeah, no, you will be asked about it, but just be honest. I mean, nobody there can honestly say that they've never done anything. But that's funny. I would say.
And so we got another kind of funny one. One of my friends went for a polygraph and failed because she got really nervous, even though she wasn't lying and didn't have any like red flags or anything. Is that common? And how do you deal with the nerves?
It's common, super duper duper common. In fact, many go back more than once to go do it. It's just weird to be stuck in a room for hours, right? And then they're just asking you random questions. It's completely normal, and it happens amongst everybody over. It's you just don't know how your body's going to react when that happens. But just be honest and know that there's a lot of people who will go back and do it again.
It's actually a good
Yeah,
question. Do you have multiple chances basically where like if you do just go in and have this complete panic attack because you're in this windowless room with people looking at you, like do you get multiple chances?
yeah. I've
Oh,
had.
okay. I didn't
You
know
actually
that.
do. You get a few. You get a couple. I mean, and sometimes if you do, like sometimes you can actually they'll in my case, they'll ask you like and kind of backtrack, and then like they'll pass you either way. Anyways, they know that you're super nervous, uh, and just deal with it. You're not the only person that is is nervous. People that have been doing this for years always talk about how nervous they are because you've got to do it every 5 years. And they go back, and everybody dreads going back to do it, but you've got to do it. And um, long story short, yeah, the first time is probably just because you didn't pass it doesn't mean the agency or whoever or whatnot are gonna not want you to come back and do it again, because once you've gotten to that point, you are an investment to the agency. Money has been vested to you because so you are going to pass. They're going to want you to pass no matter what, unless you did something that was completely ridiculous and that would completely disqualify you. Being nervous shouldn't be uh, something that'll stop you from getting your job. Because
That's
you're
good.
honest. Yeah.
That's good to hear. Maybe that will help with any nerves that people have, knowing that
Yeah.
like if it messes up the first time, you can try again. They clearly
Yeah.
want you.
Absolutely.
So I just something that I've actually had questions about. People have asked me if there's a way to get a security clearance without actually going through a sponsoring thing because it's just so hard in this area. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the
it,
It is the chicken and egg thing, right? So the best way to get a clearance is probably through the government, which is I don't know because I've had I don't know if you remember one of our classmates what's his name? Anyways, Aladdin. Aladdin
oh
actually
yeah.
made it. Yeah, you remember Aladdin? Aladdin actually made it through by getting a secret clearance through a small company. He's actually working at DHS as a contractor. There are there are some contractors that will do it. There's a reason why they don't like to do it because it costs them money, right? It costs them money to be able to get you a clearance, and then the problem with contracting is people move around a lot. So you'll get that clearance and it'll follow you where you go, right? Guess what? I got this clearance. I found another job that I like that's going to pay me a lot more, and there's a lot of that going on. So that's why a lot of these companies they almost don't want to sponsor it, right? There are some that are out there. I've been asking, a couple of contractors, like, what can we do to try to because I wanted to bring that today and see if we couldn't try to crack that case. For me, I was lucky enough at DARPA that my friend was a program manager. He's a finance guy, so he's like, "Hey, you want to do finance?" I was like, I can get you clearance." Okay, I'll do it. So I did it. Particularly for you guys, if that's the route that or at least getting a clearance through a private company would probably be like best through like a secret clearance, right? A secret is the cheaper one, so you can actually work at a job on an interim clearance. So that's what I got when I first came aboard. It takes about a year for it to actually become a full secret clearance, but you get this intern tag on you. You're capable of doing the jobs that anybody else can do, but you don't quite have your clearance yet. So I don't know why it takes me so long to do that, but yeah, that's definitely the route you would take going that route that way, because I think that's the way that Aladdin went as well. Because I don't think there's many companies out straight off the bat that'll say, okay, I'll give you an intern try a TS clearance or whatever. Those are super expensive. So you quite possibly want to work your way up to that if that's the way you go, right? But once again, like if you were to get on an agency, it's easy for them to do it. They can do it quickly. So once again, you don't like the agency, guess what? Your clearance follows you, and you can go to the private sector and get paid more. I don't know, those guys make a decent amount of money, by the way. That's another thing that if you guys haven't heard of, contractors do make more money for the most part than government. So government, you get the tenureship and you get a lot of benefits. So, but on the other side, you get more money. So it's whatever. I mean, they also get to play with a lot of toys. The contractors do. So, but it's always like the grass is always greener on the other side. But for us, for this talk, we want government. So yeah. I think it's a good it's a good experience for anybody. Come over this side first. If you don't like it, then hey, because you guys are so young, it doesn't really matter. It's a good first job to have, or a career at that. Because I've had a lot of jobs. This is actually.
And I think we've got one more of the submitted ones. So if there's any last minute ones, feel free to submit them, put them in the chat, or just unmute yourself after this. And they're asking if there are government jobs that don't require a security clearance.
There are, actually. There actually are. I'm trying to think at the top of my head. Actually, the USNO one did not require clearance when I applied for it. So they can go down to I think confidential or public trust. So there are jobs out there that do that, but I assume that for the stuff that you guys want to do, a lot of stuff that I'm sure you guys are interested in probably does at least require a secret clearance, which is almost the minimal to be able to like do some cool stuff. So, secret is not that hard to get, actually, if obviously you'll get somebody to sponsor it, it's not that hard to get. It's not really that expensive either, by the way, which is surprising. I thought it was actually more expensive than that. It's not that expensive. So yeah, there are jobs out there, long story short, but if you're going to stay in this area and you want to be a lot more marketable, we got to find a way to get you guys a clearance. That's one thing I found out the hard way. But don't get deterred, guys. Don't let that stop you from getting where you guys need to be. Seriously, you guys have what it takes to get there.
And once you get one, you're set. So it's just.
What's that?
Like you said, once you get one, you're set. Like you can go anywhere. You can anywhere in this area, we'll hire you in a heartbeat, pretty much.
Yeah, and it'll follow you wherever. If you guys want to leave the DC area, if you guys want to go to the West Coast or whatnot, there's agencies are everywhere. Or even so a lot of these contractors, a lot of the work that they do are like DoD, or they work for whatever agencies. They contract for the agency. So they're employees as well, right? Because I work hand in hand. These are my colleagues. The only difference is you work for that company, I work for whatever, but we're still working for the same cause. So you'll be working amongst us, and you can carry that clearance wherever you want to go around the country. Which is like a secret. I think is good for 10 years, and the TS is like every 5 years or something like that. So.
Okay, well, I think that's it. The one thing we got in the chat was a thank you. So I will echo that. Thank you so much, Cam, for coming and talking to us. This is a ton of information. It's gonna be so useful. I'm gonna send it to Joe. Probably going to break it up with here you hear the timestamps of each thing, because it is definitely a doozy more than we were expecting.
Yeah,
but this
I'm sorry,
is good.
Guys. Yeah,
no, this is perfect. This all of the questions we were able to ask that you were able to answer, people got a lot out of this, I think.
Okay.
So
just to reiterate, so if you guys want to do something sooner than later, right? I have a couple of people that are lined up that want to talk to you guys, the USNO, right? I know we got some astronomers out there. It's a pretty cool place. She'll come and talk. She's willing to talk, and then I may be able to reach out to somebody, that does quantum stuff. So, and then we could have them come talk. These are actual PhDs that are actually working, actually doing stuff. They're not like contractors. They're government people that are actually playing with telescopes, or they're playing with actual like widgets and stuff like that. So, and I know people are interested in that as well. I mean, that's what I was hoping to do, and I know that's what a lot of people here want to do. So, and it'd be great to hear from those guys as well. I might tune in to hear what they want. So, I'll continuously search out for these type of folks as well as I engage, and then I will point them towards your guys' direction, because I think this is a really good thing. My upper management likes this idea, so hopefully we can actually start funneling some of you guys our way.
Yeah.
So,
Send us information. We'll disseminate and try to get you some students over there, some graduates.
Yeah.
And USNO, for anyone that's thinking about that, I have some collaborators that work there, and I've been there to give a talk, and it is so pretty.
Yeah.
And like it's a really fun place.
It is.
People there are fun.
When you walk in there, it's super old, but I mean, the people there are so lovely, they're so nice. Yeah, I think it'd be a good opportunity for, especially if Jennifer, if she has anything open for you guys. Usually she'll send me stuff, and then I'll just send it over your guys' way, because I'm obviously here already. So I think for her to get like actual real like people that want to do astronomy, that's where you want to be. But understand that it's not, and I'm sure you guys know, it's not looking through freaking telescopes all day. You're actually sitting there freaking just punching. You're working with like code or whatever, which is fine. And she particularly does astrometry. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the measurement of like the stars and stuff like that. And they're they specifically do that for the Navy. So I guess the Navy kind of goes the old school way and use those stars to navigate, when things kind of go out. So it's kind of a cool thing. So I think that'd be a good thing for you guys as well. So try to get a pipeline from the government over to your side. But yes, we should set those up, and then
All right.
continue to do it. I'm very excited for you guys, because we didn't have this when we went through. It was like, just do everything yourself. So take advantage of this, guys. And anyway, just reach out to me whenever, and that's for anybody who's out there. It does not matter. I will reach out. We will try to set you guys up in the right direction, because there's a lot more stuff I can cover. I can go on I could babble on forever. There's a lot of roadblocks that I went through that I didn't mention as well. But I know we only have an hour frame, so.
Yeah, and if anyone needs this contact information, feel free to email us, Discord, message us, whatever. We will send it over.
I will forward. Yeah, I'll forward the DIA stuff to you, and then I will forward you my government stuff. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Kim. I guess we'll see you all later then.
All right, guys. Have a good one.